What if the most expensive Christmas gift you gave paid you back? In other words, what if you got all the money back for all the Christmas gifts that you had to buy? This year, you don't have to choose between being generous and being broke. You can do exactly what the wealthy have done their entire lives, and that is avoid debt by building wealth through your debts and expenses. All right, let's buy some stuff. We're gonna buy an awesome gift. Man, I think back, this would have been a really awesome gift back in the day. Right here, a MacBook Pro. I mean, come on, who wants a Dell or a PC when you can have a MacBook? And the best part, check this article out right here. You can pick one of these bad boys up for a song at $46.49, come on. But hey, wait, there's more. If you don't have $4,649, well, what we can do is we can finance that bugger for you for $210 a month. It's only 7.99% APR, meaning you're only gonna pay $5,045.09 for this little bad boy. After a short 15-year payment plan, you got yourself a MacBook Pro. And by the time you're done paying for this one, the battery and everything else won't work and you'll have to buy a new one. So we're gonna go right back in and we're just gonna let you just continue. Sound good?
Let's go.
Yeah, well, that means you give away $396.09 in interest for that Christmas gift. Do you realize for $396.09, you could have probably bought the rest of the gifts? For $396.09, you probably could have given money to a charity that would have bought gifts for a bunch of kids in need. For $396.09, you could have bought your kids a puppy or a kitty cat and all the food and catnip that you would need for the entire year. For $396.09, you could have made a payment on one of your other debts. Anyway, you catching my drift? So let's talk about a better way to do this. You know, most people, they save money. And they save it in Christmas clubs. They set up a separate bank account if they're really smart and they save money there. But we all have done that, right? We're saving up so we have a fund for Christmas. But what are we using? A bank account. And when we use the bank account and we save up $4,649 for that MacBook Pro, and we take the money out of the bank and we give it to Apple for that MacBook, how much money is left in your bank account? Zero. Dumb question, right? So you're making no interest on that money. And did you make any interest on that money when you were saving it? Probably not, but you at least saved it, so that's good. So what if all I said was just ponder this idea, change just one thing, and that is where the savings, the Christmas fund, the holiday fund, whatever you call it, the Christmas club savings program, let's just save it up in a different place. And we're gonna put it over here. And we're gonna save $4,649 over the course of a year, okay? But where are we gonna save that money? Now this is going to surprise you because this actually has another Christmas present in it that hopefully won't pay off for a very long period of time. But we're gonna save that money that you were putting in a bank account or somewhere else in a specially designed and engineered whole life insurance policy from a mutually owned insurance company. I know it. You think I'm crazy, don't you? But did you hear that I said specially designed? We're going to design the contract so that it's really advantageous for what we're using it for, because your need and your goal is to buy your kids the MacBook Pro. But to do that, you got to have $4,649 to pay cash for it, or you could put it on the credit card and pay a whopping 20+%, or Apple will finance that sucker for you at 7.99%. But we already talked about all of that. We want to pay and not give up any interest. But I'm going to show you how not to give up any interest. I'm going to show you how to get all the money back, and I'm going to show you how to earn interest and dividends on every penny of the savings the entire time. Sound good? How is that possible? Well, we specially design and engineer the whole life so that you can save the money, whatever amount you want to save. Let's just say you want to save $100. Well, that wouldn't be enough now, would it? You probably need to save about $400 a month. I don't, give or take. So $400 a month is what you're going to save. Okay, this is how much you were saving, and that's how much you're going to save. Now you saved up $4,649 for the end of the year. That money is earning interest and dividends at this point. So how much is it earning? Well, we've got all the reports in from the insurance company. So the very least you'd earn with the companies we use is 5.75%. That is the dividend crediting rate for one of the mutually owned insurance companies that we use, 5.75%. But wait, if you were saving $400 a month into that specially designed whole life, you're also getting a death benefit. And that is that benefit, that Christmas present you're gonna give a long time into the future, but that is called your death benefit. So let's just say this buys you a $500,000 death benefit. Now this is gonna vary, and I wanna be transparent. I don't know if it's gonna be 500 or 300 or 700,000. It's all based on your health, your age, and a bunch of other factors, but you're gonna have a death benefit. So someday, when you graduate and you go off to be with Jesus and with God, your family gets a benefit, a death benefit, paid out tax-free. But we're not doing this for the death benefit. You just want to know how to get all the money back for the darn Mac. So now let's move on. So it comes to the time where you're about ready to buy that MacBook, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to take a loan from the policy. Now, you were going to take a loan before. You were going to take a loan from Apple, and you were going to pay them 7.99. But wait a second, some of you were going to use a credit card. You were going to pay like 20%. The insurance company is going to charge you about 5.2 to 7%, depending on the company we use. This company is 5.2%. Is that better than 7.99? Yep. Is that better than using your credit card? Yep. With this Apple financing or your credit card, do you know how to get all the money back? Even if you got a better rate than what the insurance company is charging, do you know how to get all the money back? Nope. So let's keep going. This interest rate is simple interest. But here's the unique thing. We're going to take that loan for $4,649. It's going to go into your bank account. But I would suggest you create a separate bank account. You already did that. Good. Remember, this is your Christmas account, okay? So this is the Christmas account you set up at the bank. Great. So you now have $4,649. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go and we're going to buy that MacBook. So you bought the MacBook. Now let's just do some math. You started with $4,649, hypothetically. You took a loan for $4,649. How much money is left in your policy? I'll wait. Some of you are thinking real hard. Put it in the comments. You actually remember when we did it from a bank, we saved $4,649. We took the money out of the bank. We had nothing left. But you see, in the policy, when you take a loan from the insurance company is giving you a loan from their general account. They're using your $4,649 that's earning guaranteed interest plus dividends at a rate of about 5.75% gross. They're using that as collateral. So did your money actually leave your account? Nope. But where did the money actually come from? Well, it came from the general account of the insurance company. What they did is they came down here to this death benefit. Okay, so let's just get rid of this. They came down to your death benefit and they subtracted $4,649. So that if you did graduate a little too early, they're going to take the loan amount, the $4,649, from the death benefit that they promised you. Because all you're basically doing is you're borrowing from your death benefit early and using your cash value as collateral. So you can only take from the death benefit up to the amount of cash value you have in the policy, just to be clear. Some people get that confused and they think, oh wait, I got a death benefit of $500,000, can I take all 500? No, because the insurance company wants collateral. Just hitting the points. So let's get to the good stuff. This side of the board, you now bought the MacBook Pro. So now you got that. And you put it in a little thing, you know, they put the little bow tie on it, and let's see if I can do this. Yep, there we go. Okay, now you got the MacBook Pro bought and ready, and now Christmas is going to be glorious. But hold on, we're forgetting something, because if we just did that, you're not gonna get all the money back. Matter of fact, it might be better than using their financing, might be better than using the credit card, because the interest rate's only 5.2 in this insurance company, but that doesn't get you the money back, does it? Nope. Now, prior to you watching this video and learning what I'm about to show you, which is called the infinite banking concepts, you would have been just fine making that $210 a month payment, or just fine making minimum payments to your credit card. So you should be just fine with making a payment back to your policy, which now is going to be your bank. You are becoming the bank. And if you owned a bank, and you took a loan from your bank to buy a MacBook, you would pay your bank back with interest and you wouldn't even think anything of it because you'd keep all the money, right? If you made payments, if you owned a bank and you took a loan from your bank and then you paid your bank back $210 at a rate of 7.99. Why? Well, because you were going to pay Apple $210. You didn't even think of that. You thought that was actually a good deal. How nice of Apple to allow me to finance this Christmas gift. So when you paid your bank back, let me ask you a question. If you owned the bank and you paid your bank back $210, how much more money would you have in your bank account when you paid it back? 210, right? Because you own the bank. You're going to do the same thing. We're going to make payments of $210. Why 210? I shouldn't need to tell you that because we already were okay paying Apple $210. So now we're going to be okay paying our policy, our bank, back $210. So how this works is we're going to set up a bill pay because that's just easy, right? If you set it up with Apple, they would probably set you up on an automatic payment. We're going to do the same thing, but it's called a bill pay. $210 is going to come back. So now it hits this bank account, your Christmas account. Now you got $200 there. We're going to then set up a loan repayment back to your bank, your policy. So now $210 hits your bank account. Whoops, it's 210. Hits your bank account. Now what we're going to do is we're going to sweep that in the form of a loan repayment, and it's going to go right back into the policy as a loan repayment. Now when you do that, and if you do that, two things will happen. Number one, every month, your policy will have an extra $210 in it. That's right, that you could use the next day when your check clears. But you still had $4,649 earning interest and dividends uninterrupted because remember, your money didn't leave the account, it just collateralized the loan. But now we're paying the loan down. Okay, so now every payment of $210 is paying the loan down to the insurance company, giving you access to $210 more. You should know how this works. It's kind of like how a line of credit would work. If you use $210 in a line of credit, but then you pay back $210, you now have $210 to use. Same idea. But every time you pay $210 back to your policy, you are only paying 5.2% or whatever the interest rate is the insurance company charges on the remaining balance. So if the balance started at $46.49 and you just pay $210, well, it's $4,649 minus $210 that you're paying interest on. Every month, you're doing that again and again and again. So you're always paying the same interest rate on a declining balance when your cash value is growing because of compounding interest. So what happens at the end? Your kids are happy because they got a MacBook Pro. Christmas was a success. You're still making a monthly payment. You're still saving the same amount you were before because there's always next Christmas. Now, once you get done with Christmas, now we got next Christmas to save for. So all the things stay the same, but we just put some horsepower behind your Christmas savings because now by you doing this, you get all the money back for the MacBook Pro in the same amount of time you would have given away $396.09 in interest. You now keep $396.09 interest plus every single penny you paid for the MacBook. This is what it looks like for you to be your own bank. And this is what it looks like for you to get all the money back for all the Christmas gifts that you're gonna give, love to give, and love, love, love to give this Christmas. Folks, I hope you've enjoyed this, and if you did like what I just showed, I would love for you to watch this video right here, which is gonna give you the entire process called the Infinite Banking Concepts and show you fundamentally how to use this for everything, not just MacBook Pros. We'll see you the next time.